Cheers and welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. Yes, we're doing another White Labs comparison of the Mythical Hammer 808, which I know is brand new, and Czech 802 from White Labs. I use Czech as kind of the yeast that most people are probably familiar with, and I know this one pretty much nobody's familiar with. And we're gonna compare it. If you didn't check out the brew day, I'll put it up here. Check out the lager one. That's another video, another 2 videos. But yeah, this was all about using a lager yeast for a malt, and it's an international dark lager with some twists, of course, because you know me. But I'm gonna go over the grain bill, and then we're gonna go ahead and pour some glasses. And as usual, don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Wearing another Into the AM t-shirt, 10% off. I'll leave the links down below. Awesome shirts, definitely like it. So first of all, we ended up, I don't even remember what the OG was. I had it 5 minutes ago, I forgot it, but that's okay. We finished with the Mythical Hammer at 1.007, and on the Czech lager, yeah, the one I can't pronounce that he's trying to pronounce, we ended at 1.008. So based on the international lager and now the dark lager, it appears that the Mythical Hammer is able to eat just a tiny bit more sugar. So it gets it a hair drier, and no pun intended again with the hair dryer comment, but hey, it brings it down just a tiny bit, because on the last one it was almost literally, it was like, instead of 1.006, it was 1.0055. It was bouncing. Yeah, it was bouncing. And this one, it's a full point, but so 1.007 is for the dark, which is Mythical Hammer, and the other dark, which is Czech, is 1.008. That leaves us with the Mythical Hammer at 5.7 and the Czech at 5.5. Simple recipe. I'm not going to put it up on the screen, but 8 pounds Pilsner, 12 ounce, 8 pounds, 12 ounce Pilsner, 1 pound, 4 ounce Vienna malt, 8 ounces or half a pound of chocolate rye, and 4.4 ounces of Carafa Special. We had a 60-minute boil hop, which was at 4.3, and that was a Hallertau Hersbrucker. And then that was it. And then the yeast, of course. So, and the temps were based on the yeast. I started low and worked my way up. I'm gonna go ahead and we're just gonna pour these, check them out. He's not a big fan of dark, so he might be a little more critical, but we'll see. So I know it's gonna seem like a fraction of a second for you, but like I said, it's gonna seem like an eternity for us while I go pour the beers. Wow, it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
It does look very clear if you get the light up to it. It's like a red, like a ruby red, dark ruby red.
Yeah, I guess clear for, you know.
For a dark beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't see through it. But yeah, it's like deep dark, like a mahogany. Like a mahogany.
It is like a mahogany.
Mahogany.
And that means you can't see hardly any light go through it, but yeah.
And I overcarbonated everything initially, so these have been fixed, should we say. I allowed the carbonation to get back down there. The Czech is on our left.
The Czech, but then if it's a
dark lager. And then over here, the Mythical Hammer, dark lager. If I didn't say it before, the yeast was courtesy of White Labs. Thank you, White Labs. And we're gonna start with the Mythical Hammer because that's the new one. That's the one nobody knows about. And we got water here, yeah.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and I'm gonna let you start. He does not care for dark beers.
No, it's got that roasty scent.
Yeah.
So.
He doesn't drink coffee. I know, you're like, what? He drinks a lot of tea and beer.
It's just got the classic roasty, like chocolatey scent to it. I don't have much more to add to it. I don't know if you do. You drink more dark stuff than I.
I'm gonna say I have a hint, subtle hint, and I did not smell it in the Mythical Hammer as much last time, but I do have that subtle banana hint. I have ever so hint of roast. The roast is nice, it's definitely there, it's clear. I'd like to tell you I smell chocolate, but I can't, because I don't.
I could convince myself I smell banana.
Coffee and a hint of banana. So here we go. It's funny, I get that straw, again, because of the Pilsner. It's got Pilsner and Vienna malt, which the light lager had also that we did. But I got the chocolate. Chocolate's very mild. The coffee stands out, even though I didn't use very much.
This tastes like you just roasted the other one.
I would agree.
It tastes like you roasted the other one.
Fully agree. It does, I would fully agree. It's also got the light body. Light to medium light, but
light with the straw. It's still light, even though it's a dark lager.
Straw. which Vienna malt, Pilsner. Not sure if I can taste the rye. Chocolate's so subtle, but the coffee is definitely there.
Yeah.
Or it's like I took the light lager and dropped a shot of really good espresso in it. The mild espresso, but a good one, a smooth one. But yeah, very nice. We're sitting at what, 5.7%, super smooth. It's just really smooth. It's like
I think
your friend likes the lager and you like the darker beers.
Yeah. I think the mouthfeel on this one's a little fuller too.
Not by much though.
Than the original version.
I don't know. I'm gonna say a tiny bit, but not much. I'm not gonna say
Not like the rye or the other one was.
Yes, yeah. The other one was closer to a
But a
medium.
little bit more.
There might be subtle hints of citrus there. It's just very hard to separate it.
I'm not getting citrus. I am slowly picking up on sort of the banana.
Yeah, and I smelled the banana just up front. It was like coffee with banana. But I'm gonna say I get tastes of citrus, but it's super subtle. And the coffee is kind of standing over on top of it, kind of like, back off, back off.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead, rinse the palate, and try the Czech. Let's see if it's got more body. Okay, I almost smell no banana, which you're probably gonna smell banana this time, because you
I
smelled
do
that
smell
last time.
banana actually.
So each person's different. I smell more banana with Mythical Hammer in the dark and the light.
Yeah, I don't smell. I smelled more banana with the regular lager. This one I don't smell any banana.
Okay, he notices
This
it
I
more
smell
on the
banana.
Czech. Yeah, and we are genetically super close. Like, he's my kid, so hey,
It smells like a banana you'd use in like Banana Foster. Like it's been caramelized a little bit.
smoother. You know what? I didn't notice that, but I do.
And hardly any roast.
I'm gonna say I smell a little bit of caramel. I don't notice the coffee. I noticed the coffee right off the bat here.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I would almost say like a caramel chocolate or chocolate caramel smell.
Yeah.
That is bizarre, actually. Same beers, only thing different was the yeast, and of course some of the temperatures. Clarity Firm, I actually put Clarity Firm in here, and I decided to put gelatin in here. I know you're like, what? I just wanted to make sure I pulled everything out of suspension, and I just left a nice clean lager. So yeah, it's not normally like me to put gelatin in a dark beer, but I did. Okay. I'm gonna say it comes across smoother than that initially, but then it's got a lot going on. And I'm not sure what.
So I feel like this is more of a uniform flavor. In the Wild Hammer, I can actually pick out the different flavors.
I can get the coffee. I don't know if I get the chocolate rye. I might. But I can get a little bit of the rye over here that I don't notice over there, which I had that same issue with the lager. But it's super smooth, like you're saying, it doesn't stand out when you take your sip. And then as it settles to the back of tongue, you get a little bit of something going on, and I can't tell what, but that's where I noticed the rye, or a spice, which there's no spicy hops in here.
The rye stands out.
And the chocolate, I noticed chocolate. Caramely chocolate, it's like a mild chocolate. And I didn't put any caramel malts in here. You're right though.
The rye stands out. Everything else is so much more mild, in my opinion.
Well, I think the coffee is a little too much in your face over here. Well, over here, I don't even know how to explain it. A lot of times the yeast will really subdue the malt or subdue the hop or bring the hop out or bring the malt out. Over here, we're getting the coffee. I get banana. He doesn't get the banana as much. Or I don't get the banana. Yeah. I said it right the first time. I don't notice the rye. A hint of chocolate. It's very mild. Over here, the coffee is almost completely subdued. I mean, it's there, but it's so minute. It's just very minor. I get caramel. I get a little bit of chocolate. I definitely get the rye. I don't notice, you know what I don't notice? As much of the straw, like hay taste that I got over here.
What I'm saying is I feel like I have a lot more flavors happening here than here. This feels like maybe 2 flavors. It's very like uniform.
Just 2 different beers.
They're completely
Technically
different.
the same exact wort, different yeast. That's why I love doing experiments with different yeasts, because you can have your favorite beer ever, do a split batch, put 2 different yeasts in there and go, you know what? I love this for years, but I like this better. I did a pumpkin ale one time where I was pitching London ale yeast from White Labs, and that was my go-to. It's still one of my go-tos. But I did a 6 gallon, I did 5 gallons, and you had it was a long time ago. I did 5 gallons, and I took 1 gallon, and I pitched a Saison, White Labs 565. That was a really good pumpkin ale. It was Saison, but it was really good. I don't like Scotch ale. Ballast Point loves to use Scotch ale yeast when they do their pumpkin ale. It goes really well with pumpkin. It complements it. I'm not a Scotch ale fan. It's one of the few beers I don't really care for, but together it works. And that's the big thing about trying all the different yeasts from all the different yeast companies, especially White Labs, which I believe is now sitting at 97 different yeasts, if I can remember. Because I have a Franken Stout, which is 96 different yeasts blended together. And then this one's coming out, which would put it at 97 different yeasts. It's a lifetime of experimenting.
It's just really strange how different these 2 beers are.
Yeah, and keep in mind too, fermenting now, the temperatures here were like this, very close towards the end. And it was based on their top temps. That's where I got close to it. But you can take the same yeast and a lot of times ferment that same yeast at a slightly different temperature and have a very different beer. We did it a while back with a Vike yeast, which I did at 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I did it at 95. At 95, it was a tropical beer. It had hints of pineapple rind. It had all kinds of stuff going on, tropical. But at 85 degrees, it was a pineapple bomb. So yeah, keep in mind, temperature really can impact the yeast, and that's why I got hooked on brewing using a Hefeweizen and 3 degrees of separation, and one came out super banana, wasn't very smooth. Another one had lots of clove, almost no banana, and was amazingly smooth. So yeah, you may be brewing your favorite beer, but you may not know. There might be a better yeast sitting out there in White Labs maybe going, hey, it's brand new. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, courtesies to White Labs, courtesies to Into the AM. Appreciate everybody. Definitely appreciate the views. Don't forget, like, subscribe, keep sharing. This one's almost gone and I hate to waste beer, so I'm gonna have it. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.